Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Project Resurrection 1 and welcome to another episode. Um, Today I would like to talk a little bit more about myself to give you more of an insight of who I am. First, I consider myself a former criminal turned crusader for Christ. In high school, I was a top scholar athlete with an opportunity to play football at any one of several colleges and universities across the United States. In the winter of 1982, I settled on the University of Arkansas. Before I had a chance to enjoy my good fortune, I learned that my fiancée was pregnant with my first child, and I couldn't bear the thought of being so far away from them, living in California as they were, not wanting to follow in my father's footsteps and being an absentee dad. Rather than attend Arkansas, I enrolled in a small college in Fresno, only a couple of 100 miles away from home. Being so close to home and able to see the financial hardships that my family was going through, I eventually gave in to the lure of fast money on the streets, and the next thing I knew, I was a drug dealer, bank robber, and gang member. On January 15, 1995, after years of crime and prison, a confrontation took place in me that was a decade overdue. I saw myself for who I really was, a selfish man, destructive, filled with all types of lust. I also reflected on the abundant blessings and opportunities that surrounded my life before my fall, and how I threw it all away for a hot dollar. An overwhelming loss to myself. The worst thing being the loss of respect for my loved ones who held so much promise to me. At the time, I didn't realize that I was in the process of being broken by God. He brought me to a point where I could no longer bear being the man that I was, and I had to cry out for the Creator to come into my life. The time for the old man to die had arrived. I stopped running from the inevitable and gave in to God, as we all should do. At that very moment, in a cold, cramped jail cell, I received Christ and became a new creature. The old man of substance abuse, crime, and violence had passed away, and a new man had emerged. Later that night, while I was laying in my bed, having a conversation with my cellmate about his grandmother, who was near death at the time, I began to experience a burning sensation in my hands. It felt as if I could actually take my hands and stick it through a wall. That's the type of power that I felt in my hands. And I told my cellmate about this. And I wondered out loud, what was this feeling? What was this sensation? Where is it coming from? And through his tears, my cellmate shocked me with his response to my personal inquiry. He said, "The fate of the people is in your hands." Now, since that day, I've worked tirelessly to serve God by ministering to inmates and their families. I started a campaign called Project Resurrections to show those who are now in the position that I was once in that their lives do have value, and that they can be better than just criminals and convicts. That they can be a part of this most important work in history, a work that will be satisfying beyond their wildest dreams and will last forever. A part of my resurrection has been a return to my talent of writing, for which the Lord has blessed me with. And my first book, entitled The World Does Its Own, Being a Christian Warrior During Troubled Times, is the beginning of a new work for God that I've been called to. The World Does Its Own explores the issues of why Christians in other parts of the world today experience persecutions that are oftentimes even to death, while American Christians do not. My book is currently available at iUniverse.com and Barnes & Noble. And it's my hope and most fervent prayer that you will buy this book. Not only will you receive a valuable revelation from it for these troubled times, you will also be helping to resurrect from the ashes many lives that were once downtrodden like mine own. May God's words continue to be a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path to guide you in all your ways. I'm Project Resurrection 1. Thank you for listening to this message.